nobody cuts or grooms their eyebrows, but if you do, you would want to start with cleaned up shaped eyebrows. So what I like to do is to use a razor first, then go in with angled scissors to trim any excess hair or spiky hair from the top. I like the eyebrows to look perfect even without any pencil, so that it will give you a nice canvas to work with. Then I prime the brows and then I go on in to draw the shape, just following what I carved. I think the basic thing you have to do is to make sure that your shape comes out right, so that every other thing will be easy for you. Now the brow gel is to ensure that the eyebrows stay in place. As you can see, she has really full brow hair. And I am using this concealer from Ezekiel Cosmetics and a round flat brush to clean up the eyebrows. Like I said, once you get a perfectly clean base from the beginning, it won't be hard for you to conceal or draw the brows. And I am using a blending brush to buff out the concealer before cleaning up the top of the brows. I also don't normally do this, but I did this for the sake of the video and I wanted really clean brows. Next up, we are using this purple paint from P. Louise, and we are using this because we are doing a purple smoky eye look. If you are doing a smoky eye, I would always advise that you use a black base or a color that matches the eyeshadow you'll be using. What I did was to pat down the base on the eyelid and then blend out the part that meets the concealer before we go in with eyeshadow. We are going to be using this eyeshadow from Lydia Stanley and Ezekiel Cosmetics, and we're going to start off by using a little bit of black to kind of deepen the outer eye corner. I mean, we're doing a smoky eye, right? So we're trying to like build up our shades. So we started out with a black shade and now we are going in with a purple shade to also blend the line between the concealer and the base. And if you notice, I am patting down a cream color on the eyebrow bone to make sure that it is set. Now I'm going in with a fluffier blending brush and an orange eyeshadow to blend between the brow bone and the purple eyeshadow I applied. If you're wondering why I used orange and not any other color, it's because orange is a warm color that blends perfectly with purple, which is a cool tone color, because they have one color in common. If you want to learn about color theory, just let me know and I'll do a video on that. Next, I'll be using this purple pigment. It's kind of like a duochrome, and I'm also going to use some of this gold pigment because I want that reflective look. And so that you shouldn't be afraid to mix colors. Now we are going into skin. I started off by applying some vitamin C serum and it is hydrating, and then I went in with this moisturizer from Cosmetics. This is a very hydrating moisturizer. Always make sure to apply it all over the face. Do not skip any parts. Oily skin or not, moisturizer is a must. Next up, we are using a mattifying primer and I'm applying it to the places that are oily, especially the nose bridge, the forehead, and some parts of her cheeks. Now, this was done in a really hot and humid area, so I was taking into account the area we were in and I wanted this makeup to last long. The next step after primer is foundation, and we are using this foundation from Beauty by AD. There are stripes on her face because I tried different shades just to see, and I swatched them and I found her actual shade. You can see how beautifully it's blending with her body. Her body is lighter than her face, and whenever you are doing skin work, you want to make sure that your foundation blends with the body because it's going to look more natural that way. Now we are applying some concealer under her eyes, and I don't use that much of concealer. I make sure to use just enough. So I applied it under her eyes, and I was trying out the ombre concealer method as well, which is why after the concealer I applied the cream blush on the highest point of her cheeks, so that when we are blending it out, it will give a really nice ombre effect. It will fade out from brightest concealer to the medium shade concealer and then into the blush. Then I also highlighted the forehead, the nose bridge, the chin, and the cupid's bow. These are areas that we want to bring light into, right? And then I went in with my wedge sponge to blend under the eyes. And one thing you want to do is to be very delicate when you work under the eyes. You want to make sure that you're not pushing too much, not overly blending, because you would break your product if you do that. Now, I love this sponge because it has different corners, right? So I just switched another corner and blended the concealer. If you have a different brush set, you can also use different brushes. Just try not to use the same brush for blush that you are using for concealer, because everything will be mixed up and muddy. Now see how I switched back again to another side of the sponge so I could blend, and everything came out neatly and well blended. So you want to make sure that you have a sponge that is versatile like this. Next up, we are using the Beauty by AD setting powder in the shade Amber. And I like this setting powder because in a few seconds it soaks up oil, but you have to be very careful because if you have dry skin, it can easily make you look so dry and your skin can flake. So you just need a tiny bit. I applied a little bit and I went in to press it under the eyes, and then I went in with a shade of powder that is exactly her shade. And as you can see, I'm pressing the powder in. No dragging, no swiping. Press. When you press, you get fuller coverage and you don't have streaks all over your face. Next, we go in with blush just to make sure that the blush is a little more pigmented, and we set that liquid blush in place. And after the blush, we go in with setting spray to make sure that we reduce the look of powder and everything has a chance to marry each other. And after the setting spray, I go in with highlighter because I like the highlighter to have something to stick to. Then afterwards, I'm going to apply this lipstick onto her lips. I did not start with the outer eye corner because I wanted to see how this lipstick looked on its own. Then after applying it, I went in with a brown shade to contour the outer area of her lips. She has full lips, and when we were younger, we were told that women with fuller lips shouldn't wear bright colors. But my video is here to prove to you that you can wear any color. You just have to know how to work it. Now with dark colors, especially on light skin, you have to be light-handed. She has full lips, yes, which means we are going to contour a little bit more than we highlight, but I want to give it a healthy balance, which is why I took my time to blend. Lips is not a part of makeup that I like to rush as well. I take my time, just the same way I take my time on eyeshadow and on brows, because at the end of the day, those little details are what tie a look together. So what I did was to go back and forth to make sure to blend any harsh lines between the dark brown and the coral orange, and this is exactly how the look came out. She smacked her lips a couple times, and then I also went in with lip gloss because I wanted to give this look all the little details that will make sure that the look comes out perfect. And I'm using this orangey lip gloss from Supro Cosmetics. I've always seen this online and I like how it looks. I like how it pops people's lipsticks. It doesn't have a high shine, but it has some shimmers in it, and this is exactly how the entire look came out. Now, can you tell me if you can point out any difference between her face and her neck? That is exactly what matching the perfect shade of foundation to the face and the neck means. No filter on this at all. Let me know in the comment section if you liked this look, and I'm so grateful to you for watching this video. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you loved this video, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.